Hi everyone, welcome to Passport to Wildlife. I'm Chris Montero, and today we're going to talk about foxes. I believe that foxes are among the most attractive mammals, and probably most of you agree with me. But they're not only beautiful, foxes are also captivating. And it's not an accident that there are legends and stories about foxes all over the world. Some of them talk about foxes with magical or supernatural qualities. For instance, have you ever heard the term foxlight? The foxlights are the bioluminescence created by certain species of fungi. Well, apparently the origin of the term foxlight came from Finland, in which the legends talks about magical foxes running in the hills around winter time and releasing sparks from their tails. Those sparks will turn into the northern lights that have the same green, eerie, cold light quality of the bioluminescence found in fungi. But today we're not going to talk about foxes as myths, but like the real animals and their fascinating natural history. So let's begin. Foxes are members of the same family as coyotes, wolves, and dogs. All the animals in this family are generally known as canids. There are about 25 species of foxes around the world, but depending on the classification system, you might hear of more fox species. Here we have 4 species that show their general characteristics. Foxes are small canids with a long body and short legs. Their muzzles are pointy and their ears are triangular and in many species quite big. Most foxes are solitary and do not form packs like coyotes or wolves. Some species of foxes survive in challenging habitats. For example, these 2 African species, the fennec and the bat-eared fox, are well adapted to live in arid or semi-arid environments. Those gigantic ears provide excellent hearing, allowing these foxes to notice the sounds of small creatures in the sand or underneath the ground. Those ears also provide a wide surface that radiates heat, keeping the fox cool in hot climates. The fennec fox is the smallest member of the family Canidae, and this tiny fox survives very well in the extreme hot dunes of the Sahara Desert. In fact, the fennec does not even need to drink water and obtains its water indirectly from its food and air condensation. On the opposite side of the climate spectrum, we have the hardy Arctic fox. As you can see in the map above, it lives in the polar regions of the northern hemisphere. During winter in the Arctic Circle, the sun will not shine for several months, and the average temperature is minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Very few animals can withstand such extreme temperatures, but the Arctic fox's dense fur protects it from such brutal cold. Their ears and noses are also smaller than other foxes, as a protection against frostbite. The Arctic fox coat changes seasonally to blend in with its environment. The pup on the left displays the summer fur, and the adult on the right shows the classic winter fur. There is also a small percentage of Arctic foxes that retain a dark coat year-round. The Arctic fox survives eating anything it can find, from fish and small mammals to berries or insects when available. In wintertime, when food is very scarce, an Arctic fox often follows a massive polar bear in order to scavenge whatever food is left after the bear makes a kill. Now, let's talk about the red fox. I believe that when we hear the word fox, this is the species that most of us think of. The red fox is not always this reddish color, and there are geographic and genetic variations that go from light gray to black, and everything in between, although the colors are less common. The fluffy tail of foxes serves for communication and balance when they jump or run, but it also provides a warm and cozy wrap when it's cold. The red fox is a champion of survival with a huge geographic distribution around the world. There are several species of red fox in its natural range across the northern hemisphere. It was introduced to Australia for recreational hunting in the mid-1800s, and now the red fox has spread all over the continent as an invasive species, causing a serious impact in the decline of multiple local species of birds, mammals, and reptiles. The red fox is highly adaptable and can survive in all sorts of environments, from mountains to deserts and farmland, and even in big cities such as New York, London, or Paris. In fact, urban foxes sometimes change their lifestyle so much that new research suggests that foxes in British cities are undergoing a process of self-domestication, modifying their behavior and even their physical appearance. The red fox is an omnivore with a flexible diet that includes birds and fruits, but is also an avid hunter of small mammals. Typical prey includes squirrels, mice, and rabbits. When the red fox is hunting for rodents, it keeps a characteristic pose with the head high and the ears upright and slightly tipped forward. Once the fox detects the sound of a potential prey, it will stop and listen carefully to pinpoint the exact location. Even when the prey is invisible to its eyes, the red fox trusts its exquisite hearing. Then it crouches and leaps high in the air in the most spectacular way, diving headfirst into the deep snow or tall grass and pinning the little rodent with its forepaws. This elegant creature is a gray fox, a very distinctive species. The gray fox is one of the least known carnivores in North America. Researchers believe the gray fox was the first species that diverged from the rest of modern canids. Because of that, the gray fox still has some ancestral characteristics that are no longer present in other members of the family. In other words, gray foxes might look and behave more like primitive canids. The gray fox is native to the Americas, and its range spans from southern Canada to northern Colombia and survives in a great variety of climates. For instance, the individual on the left side of the screen was photographed in the cloud forest of Costa Rica. In fact, this is the very first species of fox I ever saw in the wild. There was a particularly memorable encounter one night as I was looking for snakes near Monkey Bay in Belize. I remember I noticed a bright eye shine on a high tree branch above the trail. My first guess was this animal must have been a kinkajou, an arboreal relative of raccoons, who is a common nocturnal sight in the tropics. But when I got closer, I could not believe my eyes. It was a gray fox, up there looking down from a branch 50 feet above my head. That night, I learned this fox has a unique skill that no other canids have. The gray fox is an excellent climber, to the point it is sometimes called tree fox. The gray fox has some curious cat-like adaptations, such as highly curved and semi-retractable claws. You heard it right, semi-retractable claws. This keeps the gray fox claws sharp. Even more, gray foxes also can rotate their forearms, which allows them to hug a tree pretty much like a cat as they push their way up with their hind legs. These rotating arms allows them to also descend slowly, tail first. As I said, these arboreal adaptations are incredibly unique for a fox. Finally, here we have a comparison of a gray fox and a red fox. The ranges of these two foxes overlap in the eastern portion of the United States. The gray fox, being the most arboreal species, is often restricted to woodland, whereas the red fox lives in a broader range of habitats. Take a look at how the gray fox head looks proportionally smaller and graceful, again, cat-like. Gray foxes have a conspicuous black stripe running along the upper side of their tails, and their tail tips are also black. As their name says, the overall coat is gray, despite some orange areas around the head and legs. Red foxes have black tip ears and black lower legs, as if they are wearing socks. The tip of their tails is white. Finally, the characteristic reddish coat is often a giveaway, but let's not forget that also there can be some pretty dark colored individuals. And that is all about foxes today. One thing to remember is while most of foxes are highly adaptable in terms of their diet, being omnivores, they're also carnivores, and as such, they play a very important role in ecosystems, keeping their population of their prey on check, which happens to be, in some cases, animals such as mice and rats that could be a pest in agricultural environments. Thank you for watching, and until our next video.